Let's get ready to rifle! We're going to look at these boxes.
As in rifle through comics.
As in rifle through the boxes. So we're going to go ahead and have a look. This one is ALP to AR. So let's see. And look at this magnificently constructed box. It's just a thing of beauty. With a handmade lid as well. Just unbelievable craftsmanship.
When you say handmade, do you mean like stitched together from other pieces of cardboard?
I guess what I mean is I made all the measurements and folds and glued it and all that kind of stuff, which is proving that I have way too much time on my hands, but that's a whole different story. So let's get started before this gets even more embarrassing. So first up, Alpha Flight, and look at that, number 1, kind of a rarity in these boxes, but there it is, exploding from the pages of the X-Men. Alpha Flight.
How dare you have a low number of number ones?
Yeah, with a great John Byrne cover. Perfect, wonderful. So here we are. That's number 6, of course. I think somewhere else I have 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's number 6. And there's number 8. This one's not in great shape. It's got some scuffs and bends and yuck around the spine, which is unfortunate. But and there's number 9, also not in great shape. There's number 10, more of the same, yuck. And number 12. Now, okay, fine. This one's actually in pretty good shape. So, but that's,
and one shall surely die.
Yeah, so that's Alpha Flight double-sized issue.
Which means it's 48 pages instead of 24.
I think so. Yeah. There's number 13 with Wolverine on the cover.
That's Wolverine.
Yep. And his civilian guys. And there's number 14. What Lurks in Lake Ontario? Yes, they're Canadian. Submariner versus Marina. More John Byrne. Let's see now. Here's number 19. Still John Byrne art. So, still good stuff. Alpha Flight. Okay. Anybody wants a copy of number 19? I have 3 of them. So, Alpha Flight 21.
We're going to get to Beta Flight.
Yeah. 23. Yeah. 26. Yeah, so it's a pretty good run here. 27. There's number 27 again. So let's see. 34. So we jump around a bit here now. 38. 45. That looks like Wendigo, or I think that's Wendigo. Friends.
Wendigo, like the thing that
Dead
scoops
end.
you up off your feet after dragging you along running and
Maybe.
causing you to burn into ash.
I guess this is number 46, and this jumps up to 73. So I realized I wasn't saying the number, so I went back a little bit. Here's number 77, Target Vindicator. There's number 82, Mutants in Asgard. Number 85. And now we jump all the way to 100. This is 110.
Oh, and it's in Canada, apparently.
Yeah, this is a Canadian team. And this is Alpha Flight 120. So we cover a good amount of ground here. So if you're looking for Alpha Flight comics, let me know in the comments. Here's Alpha Flight Annual 2. And here's Alvin, as in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I see.
Yeah.
Chipmunks are in trouble.
They are. That's Dell, 12 cents. So that's an old one.
Dell.
Yeah, Dell is a publisher. And there's another one. Another Alvin. So these are pretty old ones. These are old Marvels. Amazing Adventures featuring the Beast. This was kind of a title that was like a catch-all. I think it had various characters appearing that didn't have their own titles to have exposure. So I guess they use this as a testing ground to see how popular characters could be. But
The Beast, what are we playing? The Chase or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So here's War of the Worlds with Killraven, based on concepts created in the prophetic novel by H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds. So this is the power-packed premiere of a startling new series of Killraven. So 18, 19, 20, if you're interested, 21, 22, pretty much got the whole thing.
What are the red stickers?
Almost in duplicate. That was at a time when I had these books on display at a shop, and this was how the person who was running the shop knew that they were my issues and not his. So there's 23. Got a lot of copies of that. Here's your 24, 25, a bunch of those, 26, 27. So I have pretty much a full run.
Does that shop exist anymore, or is it one of the
28.
long list that have died?
Yeah, so I go up to 28. Yeah, unfortunately, it's one that did close. There's 28. So now we skip. Here's 31, but it's still Kill Raven. So that's good stuff. Here's 32. Looks like P. Craig Russell doing the art here. So that's, and he was a guy who was a popular artist in the 70s. So there's 32. Here's 33. 35. 37. 38. So yeah, it's interesting that this title went on this long. Death's Dark Dreamer, the most unexpected shocker of all. And now we move into Ambush Bug, which I
Does
only
it have to do with Electro, or is it just saying that because it's something
just saying
surprising?
because it's shocking. Not shock. Yeah, this has nothing to do with Electro. But so this is Ambush Bug, which was really, really funny that Keith Giffen had created this character, and he had some appearances in Superman's Action Comics, which were just hilarious. And then he got his own miniseries, and then he had another miniseries which was called Son of Ambush Bug, and then there were a couple of other ones.
Is that what the baby Batman is for?
Yeah, that's might be Batmite. But so I mean, Ambush Bug was really a fun read. I mean, it was just goofy and meant to be goofy. It was kind of like parodying superhero comics, but it's really funny. So it's definitely worth having a look if you haven't already. This is American Flag. I mentioned Howard Chaykin having done a cover before. This is a Howard Chaykin book, American Flag. He did the art and story. So it's a futuristic thing. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, the art is quite good, and he was a very good storyteller as well. So,
did he do the art and the storytelling?
Yeah, in the beginning, yes.
Dang.
So yeah, I have issues. Yeah, it is an impressive thing. 8, 9, and 13 of American Flag, and this one is what number is this? That's number 25. So by this point, somebody else might have been doing the art, but I'm not going to open this up to find out who. He could very well have been him, but I can't remember. So here's America versus the Justice Society. Release the Justice Society. Die. So commands the Spectre.
It's the Justice League
Society
of
in this case.
America.
So this is actually, I have...
But it became the Justice League, didn't it?
Sort of, yeah. They kind of came out of the Justice Society, but they were definitely two separate teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They have different heroes?
Yeah, some repetition, but...
Okay, now I'm curious which heroes were on the Justice Society.
That would take too long to go into. But,
okay.
Americomics, and this is noteworthy solely because it's a George Perez cover, who was definitely one of the best artists to grace comic books. And for whatever reason, he drew this cover, because this is not a big company that I'm aware of.
That S is interesting.
Which one?
Actually, all of the S's in first issue.
Oh. Yeah, that is a first issue, actually. Yeah, there's another first issue.
But the way the S's are made, I'm saying, is weird. But
okay.
Because it's like that slanted.
Where?
See, it says first issue, but the S's are like aligned weirdly.
So these S's.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's Amethyst, first issue collector's item, number 1 of 12.
Ooh.
Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld. And I have 2 copies of that. And here's number 2. So let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm missing 8. I'm missing 7. So I jump over that. That's number 8.
So that's 8.
Yeah, right. 10. I'm missing number 9. And apparently number 10. That's 10. So I'm missing 11 and 12 as well. So I don't have the full thing, but I do have...
Is that 13 then?
This is a Fantasy Field first issue. So this might be an ongoing of Amethyst after the miniseries. So that's the first issue of that. And now this is another miniseries of Amethyst by Keith Giffen, who also did Ambush Bug. So it's well worth checking out.
Ambush Bug that we talked about at the beginning?
Mm-hmm. Oh. And for no other reason than Keith Giffen, it's worth having a look. But looks like some good art in here too. So I think Mindy Newell is the artist here. So
it does say Newell. So.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4. Now this, unfortunately, I only have 1 issue of this Animal Man, but this was by Grant Morrison, and this was really great. I mean, he did a really nice job of not deconstructing, but definitely making comic books a little bit more realistic and grounding them. But there were some really interesting plots, and it's also unique that Animal Man was one of the few characters that was married and had children. So that's his daughter, and the story kind of explains how this is happening. It's really a great story, and of course it's a great Brian Bolland cover.
And he's apparently disintegrating.
Yeah, he's kind of like caught in a time stream or something like that. So But if you read the whole story, it's really excellent. So
that becomes your future, which can't now be affected by your past, something which is now the future, or something like that.
Yeah. So this is Aquaman. This Aquaman had a series in the 60s, then it was discontinued, and then it was restarted again in the 70s. And I think that it was a victim of the DC implosion. I can't remember if it came out before or after, but they started up again. So here it is at number 59. I think the original series went into the early 50s, and then they restarted it with the original numbering. So that's number 59, and this is number 60. And unfortunately, this only lasted for a handful of issues. I'm assuming
that, unlike what the Big Bang Theory characters think, these issues don't suck.
No, I think Aquaman it always got a bad rap, but this is Aquaman 62. And then they relaunched Aquaman again. This is in the 1986, and I don't remember if Keith Giffen was involved with this or not. I don't think he was, but they definitely really tried to give Aquaman his own series. And then eventually Peter David did have a 40 or 50 issue run, which I think was continued after he left, but he did have a great run on Aquaman. So, and this is Arak, Son of Thunder, and Roy Thomas is the writer, creator of this. So this is recommended just because Roy Thomas is involved. So
I think he was included in one of Raj's riddles for the scavenger hunt, Arak,
maybe,
or something like that.
But
so maybe it was Ra, I can't remember. But
yeah, this is number 3. So apparently I don't have Arak number 2 or Arak or whatever this is.
Yeah.
But at least this doesn't have a bag, so I can check out. It's Roy Thomas and Ernie Colon is the artist. So that's number 2 or number 3. I mean, that's number 8. So I think the rest of the box might be. No, it's not. So I have a bunch of these anyway. That's number 10. So no, that's
don't
not
make assumptions.
Even less than I thought. Yeah, that's.
You know what they say about assumptions.
Yeah, 14, 20. So I'm all over the place on this. 46. So there's nothing consecutive or consistent, but there's a few issues in here. So if you're interested in that type of Conan the Barbarian kind of stuff, that's what that was. So, okay, this is Archangel. Let's see. I think this might be number 1, but I can't find the number on here anywhere. But anyway, that's from X-Men, so that's cool. Here's Archer and Armstrong, which was a title from Valiant when Jim Shooter started his own company. Valiant was the first stop, and unfortunately he was forced out of there too. But this is number 1, and that's number 2. So again, more number 1s, which is again very rare. But so now here's Archie. You know, everybody knows about Archie. So these are original Archie comics. So this might be around the early 70s because they mentioned Apollo 11. So that was, I think, in 1970 or 71 when Apollo 11 occurred. But so these are pretty old ones. So yeah, these are.
Which one was it that?
This is Archie 252.
That first actually landed on the moon.
That was Apollo. I think it was Apollo 11. No, wait. Was it Apollo 9?
It was the year you were born, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
it was
it would have had to be before 11. If,
yeah, it was 1969. Maybe I think it was 9, but I'm not 100% sure about that, which is kind of unfortunate. I really wish I did know that.
Apollo 13 is the one that failed or something.
Yeah, Apollo 13 is the one that had the successful return to Earth despite the explosion.
Where Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. There's Archie 254, and this is Archie and Me, which is another Archie title. They had a lot of titles actually for Archie, which is just a testament to how well these books must have sold at the time. So I have a whole bunch of Archie and Me. Here's Archie at Riverdale High. So there's a couple of those. And here's Archie's joke book, Laugh Out joke book. And based on the price, 15 cents, this one must be from the early 70s, maybe even late 60s. But yeah, and this thing about Archie is it's so timeless, it's hard to tell. This is Archie joke book 172. This is 213. Here's Archie's joke book 221. So we kind of go through. Here's Archie's TV Laugh Out with Sabrina featured. Archie's TV Laugh Out again. Archie's Pals and Gals. There must have been about six Archie titles just in that short burst there. Here's Arion, Lord of Atlantis, number 4, special origin issue. Armageddon, the Alien Agenda. Armor and the Silver Streak. This looks like a Neil Adams cover, maybe.
Oh, neat font too.
Yeah, so that's from Continuity Comics, which is definitely Neil Adams imprint. So That looks like another Neil Adams cover. Armor, and that's yet another one. So yeah, great art from Neil Adams, at least on the cover. So that is it for this box, which is Alpha Flight to Armor. So that's it. And now that we have rifled through this box, we hope that there's some stuff that will get your attention. If so, please let me know in the comments or on eBay. Send me a message and it will be linked below. Thank you. Have a good evening.